Okay, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations you Akim out there that push this word in truth and sincerity. It's going to be a quick lesson, going until, the 2/3 that's going to perish, right along with Esau and other nations that's in the land of America. Because Donald Trump violated, not only did he violate the and pull out of the intermediate nuclear force treaty, but he testified banned missiles, which prompt the Russian government to do the same thing. So we're approaching some heavy, rough times, man. But things is not going to kick off until they make mandatory the RFID microchip. Let's get that straight, because you got North Korea testifying missiles. You got the Iranian government that's just successfully testified some missile defense system and some new weaponry that they created, and they boasting about it because it was not given to them by any other nation. It was made by their scientists. So they are boasting about that heavily. Then you have the trade war with the United States government and the Chinese government, which prompt the stock market to tumble 623 points, or probably more. And then we have the G7 summit about to kick off. So a lot of things is popping off, man. And what's going to be on the agenda of the G7, especially the war was going on in Syria, the trade wars between China and the United States, and then all these missiles that's being shot off. You see what the United States government has done. They prompt a ICBM nuclear missile. They prompt a how can I call it? They prompt a ICBM nuclear missile weapons testing frenzy, whereas everybody are testing new arms, a new arms race, if you will. So I have a few scriptures. Abarat you Akimatu will be edified because, hey man, the 2/3, right along with Esau and the other nations in this land, is going to be taken by a great number, And many, let me just get into the scriptures, man. Because many of you people are going to perish, man, by the way of famine, the sword, death, and destruction. This is the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High Yahweh that is set before them. And this is referring to the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Also, the men that fell out this truth or got kicked out, this referring to them as well. I'm going to read it again. 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the laws of the Most High Yahweh that are set before them. Verse 21. For the Most High have given them straight commandments to such as came to this truth, what they should do to live. Hey man, go out there on the highways and the byways, push the word, observe the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, observe the high holy days, don't commit adultery, spiritual adultery, nor commit physical adultery with another man's wife. Don't be a gangbanger. Don't be a goddamn homosexual. Don't be a lesbian. These are the things that we should not do in order for us to live, which is to go out there in the highways and the byways and do the work of the Most High. Pray eventually be one of the elect. But this word is not given to everybody. I'm talking about the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. That's why you're doing the things that you're doing. You're going to pay for it. It says, verse 21 again, 2nd Ezra 7 and 21. For the Most High have given straight commandments to such as came what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Observe the Sabbath, observe the high holy days, do the work of the Most High, go out there in the highways and the byways. These are the things that was commanding us to do, man. Learn this truth and go out there and teach this truth, man. In season, out of season. I don't care if it's blazing cold out there. I don't care if it's rain. We got umbrellas. We be out there throughout the seasons, man, unless it's a major blizzard, whereas we can't go out there. But better believe the apostles going to have us out there on Sunday, you know, and that's just, man. That's what we supposed to do. And then throughout the week we putting up videos. So we doing the work that we doing what we are commanded to do. But the 2/3 are not. They doing what their hearts desire, committing adultery, smoking weed, being homosexuals, being lesbians, you know, just doing the things that's not right, man. But you're gonna pay for it. Verse 22. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him. Talking about the men that was in this truth, the men that was in this stain of ours. And also we out there on the highways and the byways telling you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, that's a part of the 2/3, what you should do to obtain mercy if you be a part of the elect to live. But y'all fan your hand at us, you're murmuring under your breath, you'll call us names, you'll try to demonize us, you're scoffing, you're scorn, but you're going to pay. It says, nevertheless, back in 2 Ezra 7:22, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, who, Yahweh, but spake against him and his prophets, and imagined vain things. They imagined vain things against the holy ones, against the Most High's prophets. They imagined vain things against the Almighty by coming up against his word, because, you know, they're scoffing, scorn. They don't believe in the Most High. Talking about the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Because you keyboard gangsters, your sole purpose of living is to be scoffers and scorners, man. Instead of taking heed, you'll be disobedient, man. But y'all gonna pay. It says, back in 2 Ezra 7:18, Slack 7:22. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto the Most High, but spake against him and imagined vain things. And verse 23, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds. Scoffing and scorning is a wicked deed. Being a homosexual is a wicked deed. Being a gang-banging drug dealer is a wicked deed. Committing adultery is a wicked deed. Punishment by death. All these things, the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are indulging yourselves in, man. But you're going to pay. It says, back in verse 23, 2 Ezra 7:23, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds. How did they deceive themselves? Because they don't believe in the scriptures. They are taught to fear the Lord through the precepts of men. And men, through the precepts of men, which is false doctrines, they claim that the Almighty Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, is all love. He doesn't have other feelings. He doesn't get angry. He does all love. Regardless of what you do, he loves you. And that's totally false, man. And by y'all adapted to that false philosophy, that plantation doctrine, you're going to pay. It says, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not and knew not his ways. Because you got some wicked ass Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that don't believe in the Most High. But they have zero fear of the Most High. And that's why they do the things that they do. But you're going to pay. That's the bottom line. You're going to pay. This is Ezekiel chapter 21 verse 9. This is one of my favorite precepts, man, because hey, this is what's coming to 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Also the men that's a part of this thing of ours that fell out or got kicked out. You're going to pay. That sword is waiting for you. That sword is waiting for you. So this is Ezekiel chapter 21 verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say. And that's what we got to do. We prophesizing the things that's going to come to pass, man. We telling you that the offer of the microchip is the mark of the beast. We telling you that martial law is coming. We telling you that death and destruction, the famine and pestilence is coming. But you wave your hands, man. You ignore us. You're going about your daily lives, doing the days that you do on the day of the world, which is Saturday. And you're totally ignore what we have to say. But you're going to pay. And this is one of the instruments of how you're going to pay. And I'm about to read it to you. Ezekiel chapter 21 verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Now that sword that's being sharpened is these National Guards practicing with J-Helm 15, J-Helm 16, practicing for the hour and the time of martial law. When they're going to go door-to-door searches to confiscate guns. Why do you think there's all these shootings going on? Because the Most High is allowing these devils to commit these false flag, acts, or putting the spirit on these devils to grab up their guns and shoot multiple people, man, which is judgment of the Most High. Whoever gets shot down and mowed down like a dog, that's judgment. Job 4 and 7. Remember, I prayed, whoever perished being innocent. That means it was meant for them to get shot down like a dog, man. And that's that sword that's being sharpened, man. That's that sword. The modern day gun. So you see all these shootings around here, man. That's that sword. That's part of that sword that's being sharpened. El Paso, Texas. Dayton, Ohio. The shootings over in Pennsylvania. The shootings over there in Brownsville. It's daily shootings, man. That's that sword that's being sharpened. But that main sword is ICBM nuclear missiles. That's right. It says, and it's also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. You better believe them Gurkha troops, Interpol, International Police, and this is international from different nations, so you're not going to understand a goddamn word that they're saying. They're going to be speaking in their language, their gook language, whatever language they're coming at you with, and you're not going to understand them. They can be telling you to lay it down, put your hands up in the air, and you're not complying because you don't understand what the hell they're saying, and they're going to gun you down. A part of the sword. That sword that's being sharpened. National Guards, Gurkha troops, International Police, which is Interpol. The UN troops. Yes, that sword is being sharpened. And it's directed toward the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that's a part of that club, that 2/3 club. Why? Because you didn't take heed to what the prophets had to say. When the doors of mercy was open, when the doors of come back to this thing of ours and convert and be healed, you didn't want none of it, man. You wanted to still be a nigga out there committing adultery. You want to still be a homosexual, a lesbian, whatever you're doing out there that's wicked. You want to continue doing in your wicked devices, but you're going to pay. It says, it is sharper to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. And that sword, once it's sharper to the teeth and that sun hit it, it's going to glitter. That's right. It's going to be a sword slaughter out here, man. It says, it is sharper to make a sword slaughter. That means it's going to be, the slaying is going to be from one end of the earth to the next. Talking about the nuclear missiles. But before that, you're going to have race wars, race riots. You're going to have Esau coming in, snatching you people up, putting you in concentration camps. That's a part of that sword slaughter. Famine, pestilence, is a part of that sword slaughter, man. It says, should we then make mirth? Because you got a lot of Negroes and Hispanics, Native Americans, even certain camps, man. It's all about partying, marrying, giving in marriage, taking boat cruises. We not in that time for mirth, man. The 2/3 you Negroes always want to party. Today is Saturday. What they do? They party. Bullshit. The day of the world. But you can't get around that, man. We not in a time of mirth. Look on these alternative outlets. You got protesting going on. You got missiles being test fired. You got trade wars going on. You got pestilence that's spreading like wildfire. You got these crops. It's going to, and another thing, it's going to bring forth that sore famine because these crops couldn't cultivate. Why? Because of the floods that kept coming throughout the beginning of the spring and throughout the summer. So during the time of harvest, it's going to be little or no crops. And what crops they have, they're going to spike up on the prices. Over 1 million cattle was destroyed, drowned, and destroyed during the time of them floods in Nebraska. And Omaha, Nebraska is one of the states that push that beef, the beef industry. So look forward to spikes in prices in the food and in the vegetation. And that's going to produce a famine. That's that sore sword. That sword that's coming, man. It's not going to be nice. It says, it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Verse 11. And he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be sharp, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hands of the slayer. It's not Esau, the Most High's whipping stick. Did not King David ask the Most High in Psalm 17 verse 13 to deliver him from the wicked, which is that sword? It's not Esau the wicked. Pursuant to Malachi, the first chapter, the 4th verse. And there's various other scriptures that's showing you who's the wicked. Hey man, that time is coming. It says, verse 12, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by the reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon the thigh. Them terrors is going to come by the way of martial law, by the way of famine, by the way of death, destruction, and ultimately by the way of pestilence, and ultimately by the way of thermonuclear missiles, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, supersonic missiles, concentrated fire, them laser beams from them chariots when Yahweh Shah cracked them skies. The slaying of the Lord is going to be many, from one end of the earth to the next, man. America is going to be wiped off the map. Israel is going to be wiped off the map. Certain parts of Russia is going to be destroyed. Certain parts of Iran, North Korea, China, Great Britain, so forth and so on. That's why the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. Hey man, we approach some heavy times. We approach some heavy times, and the Most High, Yahweh, said he appointed 4 cons. Let me get that scripture real quick. It says, this is I'm going to start from Jeremiah 15 verse 1. The key point is in the 3rd verse. It says, then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Moses represent the law, and Samuel represent the prophets. And the Most High said, yet his mind cannot be toward this people, because 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're stiff-hearted, man. You're hard-headed, man. You're quick to run out there and shed blood. You're quick to run out there and be homosexuals, lesbians, do all kind of manner of wickedness. But when it comes to do right in the eyes of the Most High, by going out there in the highways and the byways, learning of yourself, you know, learning who you are. See, you and the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you have no cloak for your skins, because you know why? There's multiple videos out there, not that from GMS, which is Great Millstone, but other camps out there, man. And once or twice in your life, you ran across a video, because YouTube is popular. You have ran across the Akim out there in the highways and the byways. You have no excuse, man. You just a scoffing ass, wicked ass nigga. But you gonna pay. And I'm reading how you gonna pay. It says, then said the Lord, Jeremiah 15 and 1. Then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind cannot be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight. And that's why we got cast out of the land of Israel. Which when it says cast you out of cast us out of his sight, is representing how we got cast out of Israel during the time of 70 AD. And we have never been the same. We have never been the same since, man. We have never seen that land ever since the diaspora, ever since us getting cast out in 70 AD, man. It says, cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as are for death to death. Getting shot down by police, getting murdered by another wicked ass nigga such as yourself. It says, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine. Because you know a lot of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, they're going to die by the way of famine, which is the lack of bread, man, the lack of water. You're going to perish, man, and that's a hard way to go, man. It says, as for the famine to the famine, as for the captivity to the captivity, going into them concentration camps, man, being tortured, having your head put in the guillotine, firing squad, whatever kind of instrument or device they're going to use to put your ass to death, man. And this is one of the ways of how you're going to pay. And I will appoint over them 4 Khans, saith the Lord Yahweh. Over who? The 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. It says, the sword to slay, the modern day sword is the gun, and the dogs to tear. You better believe they're going to sick dogs on you. They did that before in the 60s. They were sicking dogs on you. Also, you can have these wild animals coming from these zoos and having a good time on the flesh of you wicked ass people. It says, the dog to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. And that's some of the instruments of how you're going to get put to death, man. Because we're approaching that time, man. And all you Negroes, Hispanics, and slacking, all you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you think it's a joke, man. Everything is a joke. Everything is fun and games until adversity hits, man. And like the Apostle Cabal always says, no one listens until adversity hits their ass. Then they want to listen. If these scriptures don't teach you, like the Apostle Cabal always says, adversity will. And adversity is coming, man. Definitely by the way of death and destruction, famine, pestilence, race riots, concentration camps, ultimately being chipped by the Alpha-D microchip, ultimately thermonuclear destruction. So with that, I'm going to close it out, and I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, and once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And with that, Shalom.